coach looking for someone that's deep.
I mean, obviously, can't be in that call in that situation. There's a cutoff time for that, and usually for us, it's 12 seconds is the cutoff. There's 15 seconds, but where the breakdown in communication occurred was, if you stop them short of the line to gain, then I mean they can't clock the ball. It's fourth down, so you're not going to get another play. So, ultimately that's on me.
You would have preferred to send more guys at him, or are you saying
you just got to play a different call? I have no problem playing the outside leverage. You just need a robber or a low hole player at the line to gain, because they're running, they put a bunch into the boundary or trips into the boundary, and they're trying to get the ball out of bounds if you allow them to, and that's why you play severe outside leverage. CV's playing outside leverage. It's just we had three guys deep, and I mean 2 deep, where they get an 18-yard gain right there and able to clock the ball. And I mean, you talk about a game of inches. I mean, it really was. I mean, Carl Brooks almost got another one, but it was just they were a little bit too close.
What was the process today of just flushing that and moving forward?
It was exactly that. It's like, anytime that you have mistakes, you got to own up to them. You got to face the music, and all you can do is move on and be, look at yourself critically and make the necessary corrections and make sure it doesn't happen again. And unfortunately, I think that was a little out of character for us, and but it was unfortunate because it cost you a game.
You have an update on Christian?
Yeah, it's not good. So he'll be out for the season or the rest of the year.
Is it for a guy that's been battling so much stuff?
Yeah, it's a big time loss. Just his presence on the field alone. He's so versatile in his ability to play multiple positions. You can put him at the X, the F, the Z. You can move him all over the place. Obviously, he's got an element in terms of his size and speed that's tough to replicate. There's not many built like him around the league, and I hurt for him. I obviously hurt for our team, but I just more for him, just because I know how much he's put into this thing, and just like all our guys, and you never want to see that, and it's an unfortunate part of our game. But like I told him, I know he'll attack it the right way. He'll handle the adversity. It'll just be a bump in the road for him, and I think he'll come back better. That's just how he is built. That's how he's wired. And so I do think that there will be good. It's just going to be down the road.
Do you think either Jordan or Blake Willis will be limited at all in practice this week?
That is a good question that I couldn't tell you right now, because I talked to both of those guys. They seem to be doing all right, but as far as their limits, I think they're going to be okay, but we'll find out over the next 2 days.
Going back to Christian, I know you don't have the ability to see the future, but looking back now, were you planning on not playing him if Romeo wasn't sick, and should you have just gone with 4 active wide receivers?
Yeah, we talked about it all, to be honest with you, and I never want to say one event impacts the other event, because he came to us, I think on Friday, and just said, hey, if I go and practice today, can I be up? And at the time, he was going to be limited regardless, and we were going into this game with just, all right, you got limited amount of snaps when that spot became available, but there was a lot of discussion into it. Unfortunately, it wasn't even his knee that was bothering him, so it's just an unfortunate circumstance that transpired, and I never want to say it's blame one event on the other, but there was a lot of discussion, I'll leave it at that, in terms of just, we were very aware of just having him on a limited basis, and we didn't even get to that, really.
And if the Eagles go back and watch that Vikings game and just say, all right, let's just keep everything in front without Watson, how do you guys generate, movement down the field and even some explosives?
Yeah, I think just going back and watching Philly, I've got a pretty good jump on them this morning, and I mean, week one feels like a season ago, literally, and I just feel like the defense is, I mean, they're humming right now. It's a very talented defense. You can tell that they've got everybody on the same page. It's much more difficult to get some of those explosive gains. So I would tell you that it's going to be very important for us, for our offense to be efficient, stay ahead of the sticks. You know, they got superstars on every level of the defense. So we're going to have to make sure that we're doing a good job of taking what's there and churning out and fighting for every inch on the field on Sunday.
Was Romeo back in the building? Is he better?
He was, yeah. He's feeling better.
So Christian, did Verde feel?
That is confirmed, yes.
Matt, how much hope or optimism do you have for Evan Williams this week?
Well, until he gets out there, I'd say he's questionable until he proves otherwise. But I think he's moving around a little bit better. But we gotta play it through the week, and then I can give you a better answer towards the end of the week.
How about Quay? I'm sorry. How about Quay as far as since we're talking about injured guys?
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but we'll see. I mean, he's another guy in the same boat, and he hasn't practiced, so we got to see how he's looking out there, moving around, and see where he's at.
Potentially have 2 roster spots. Could you do it? Is there anything you might do with those in terms of?
Yeah, that's something that Goody and I talked about this morning.
Is there anybody who could come in and, I mean, actually?
I think we're looking at everything right now.
Is Zane still in concussion protocol?
He is.
What do you need to see Jordan do to get the accuracy back to where we've seen it be before in the past? Is that
Yeah, I don't want to put it just on him. It's everybody. We got to make sure we're doing a good job in the pocket, having firm pockets. There's been a few times where, you know, like there was an example. I want to say it was the first third down of the game where he's working through, or maybe it was the second one. Anyway, where he's working through his progression, try to hit Chris Brooks on a check down, and like we're getting too much push. So it's everybody. There's a couple plays, as there always is, that you'd like to have back, and you know, it's just about taking what is there, reading with your feet, taking what the defense is giving you, and going to the right place with the ball. Where we just gotta, like, that's going to be critical in this game moving forward in order for us to stay efficient, to stay on schedule, and have success offensively.
So, Matt, there were times this year where your passing game was really humming, right? So it's not just him, but what do you need Jordan to do? What do you need to do better as a play caller?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Well, you always like to get number one open. I mean, that's the idea. And, you know, sometimes it can be difficult depending on how many different coverages teams play, where you're calling something for a certain coverage, and if you get the look, you're usually in pretty good shape, and if you get something different, you have to have an answer, and that's why I think, I mean, all-purpose plays are at a premium. You always want all-purpose plays where at least at a bare minimum you can get a check down, and certain teams might do different things to you that can limit your possibilities for those checkdowns, but I think it just goes all in the planning portion of it, is just making sure we have sound football plays and at least you have an outlet to go with the football.
So like when the Vikings play more man than you anticipated, did you feel like you didn't have as many answers as you
There was a couple plays, I would say, in that game, not to rehash the past, but yeah, where you're anticipating something where you just never want to have, I would say,